I'm the Gorgeous Gamer, and this is a taste of Co-op Edition, where I give you a quick sample of a game in co-op mode to help you decide if it's right for you to purchase to play with your friends. Today, we check out Journey to the Savage Planet. Journey to the Savage Planet pits you as a brand new recruit in the Pioneer Space Program, the fourth best interstellar space exploration company. As you can tell from what I just said, it is not your normal action-adventure kind of game. After your ship crash lands, you're asked to explore this foreign world at the fringes of space to see if the planet could be inhabitable for humans. The first-person shooter is filled with zany aliens, clever puzzles, and ripe with humor on every turn, all set in a very colorful and playful environment. Let's go ahead and dive in. Graphics. Colorful, vibrant, and kind of cute. The planet and its biomes are a joy to explore, and each have a very kind of theme, from the icy starting zone to the lush cliff sides to the ruins of volcanic floating islands. The scenery of the game never gets boring or dull. I'm constantly looking around and enjoying myself. Using your gun, exploding enemies, using your tools, everything just had great animation and great detail. Sound. While you, the hero, don't really have a voice, you are in constant contact with your ship, which is a helpful AI who guides you along the way. And I cannot forget to mention the Pioneer Space Program CEO, who regularly also chimes in, both in your earpiece and whenever you return to the ship and have made some sort of progression. The live actor videos are hilarious, and the voice acting is great. It is playful and funny. There wasn't a moment or a single video that I didn't laugh at or replay. The environment is also filled with, unique ambient noises, the local alien bird life, scavenging around and then screeching when you aggro them to alert their fellow flock that they're under attack and need help. Your jetpack, using it to double and triple jump from platform to platform. Each gadget has its own unique sound, which really lends to engrossing you into the first-person aspect of the game.
Hi, my name is Martin Tweed, President
Story.
and CEO.
I wouldn't quite call this 100% an open-world game. There's a little bit of a linear sense to the large areas, but you definitely are encouraged to go off the beaten path to explore and find hidden areas. A lot of the stuff that you run across in zones, even the beginning zones, are kind of gated behind certain technology that you will find, or you will get new gadgets and come back to the ship and use your 3D printer to then build this new gadget and then come back to the old zones. Most of those things will then give you a new item or upgrades or things like that. Very a la Metroid, Zelda, Mega Man. So your ultimate goal in the story is really threefold, and you can go about this in any way, and you can actually ignore certain objectives. You can scan the creatures and environment to determine if the planet is inhabitable. You're also looking to, first and foremost, really try and find parts to repair and fuel your ship. And then finally, if you wish, you can explore the alien ruins. Exploration is really the name of the game, and throughout you will be locked out of certain zones like I talked about, create an item, return back if you wish, or continue to progress through the story, trying to finish all these objectives to ultimately get off planet. It makes it feel really good to have these optional objectives, almost side quest-ish, but then these main objectives kind of peppered in that are also kind of optional. So much fun. Put it this way, Chris and I enjoyed playing so much that we played the game 3 times over, back to back to back, to get all the achievements. The combat is there, but it's not the driving force of the game, so don't expect a Far Cry style of play where you're having an engagement every single movement you make. It's more like Immortal Phoenix Rising, where you have this kind of mixture of puzzles with combat. And while the humor is really not kid friendly at some points, it will likely go over their head, very similar to like a Pixar feature. But I would definitely say that the puzzles and the gameplay itself feels a lot more kid oriented. But nevertheless, it was super fun as an adult. The gunplay and finding the hidden areas, all of it felt very rewarding to do. And upgrading things like your gun's charge shot or your grappling hook or your triple jump, every time I wanted to go back to the ship when I had enough parts to see what new I could unlock with the skill trees, which is a nice way to add that kind of RPG mixture of fun versus just simply running around, finding a new gadget, and just continuing on. Always returning to the ship meant also seeing a brand new video, which, as said before, so much fun. Again, essentially, not everything is combat driven, so you really are just kind of exploring and finding new gadgets and detectors and achievements and hidden upgrades and puzzles. Graphics and gameplay are just so addicting and fun. The script and dialogue never got old, was never in any way, shape, or form so cheesy that I cringed like certain moments in Immortal Phoenix Rising. It was just great. The upgrades felt useful. They weren't strictly passive like so many other games' skill trees where I just felt I was dumping points in for no reason. Everything brought a uniqueness when collecting materials, and I really had to pick and choose what upgrades I wanted to do when I returned to the ship. Finding new artifacts to create new items, it was just a fresh way of kind of revamping the crafting, if you will. None of the puzzles were extremely challenging, but I didn't mind that. Same with the bosses. Like, there was enough challenge to it that I felt accomplished by doing it, but never to the point that I needed to replay it over and over and over again, like a Souls game where I got frustrated. Chris and I played this almost every single day after we installed it. We plowed through the first time through like nothing, and it's a shame that there's very little DLC or expansions because we craved more. The cons, sometimes jumping was frustrating and grappling didn't always seem to latch on to areas that you aimed for, so you'd fall. We never experienced really any glitches or bugs, and it would be nice to have maybe a few more options for our main gun other than perhaps just a charge shot, if you will. But again, since gunplay is so minor in this, it didn't feel that bad. And as said, probably our biggest gripe was the fact that we died more due to jumping errors or grappling errors than anything else. Chris and I, as said, we played through and got all the achievements. Some of the achievements we kind of wish we would have looked through in advance because we probably wouldn't have needed that third playthrough. For example, there's one where you have to scan every single creature and slap every single creature. And going back and figuring out who we had and hadn't, we literally had to play the game all over again in order to get those achievements. But we enjoyed it so much, it really wasn't that much of a pain for us.
Do you suffer hardship or lost wages due to ill-manufactured metapolyform indicate